the Rams. Not now, she has been for years. But at any rate, so we were there last night, and you know who strolled into the suite? Pro Football Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk.
Hey.
And to make sure that he could not leave, it was Susie's job to make sure that he could not leave. And this will be a fun photograph the Thursday after the Super Bowl when they're co-hosting this show together.
I know.
He's a Pro Football Hall of Famer, one of my favorite people on the planet. He's Marshall Faulk. How are you, Marshall?
I'm doing good, Rich. How are you, man? How's it going?
That's fine. Susie made sure you were not leaving the suite because, you know, you
tight man-to-man coverage, bump and run.
It was definitely. It's definitely a 5-yard penalty. There's no question about that. No,
that's getting flagged.
Why did the Rams win that game last night, in your estimation, Marshall?
Literally, the trades that they made, all three, I should say all three moves that they made. Stafford in the fourth quarter, when you look at the numbers, he made the throws that Garoppolo didn't. He made the throws that at times Jared Goff would make. When they took Kupp away, OBJ made himself available. And then we saw Von Miller on the other side of the ball. The complementary, they couldn't just double team Aaron Donald and maybe slide and chip Floyd. Oh man, it was all the moves that they've made this season and this offseason. They all roost. They all roost. It was perfect. And
I guess there was that moment in time, that ball was in the air where maybe the one mistake you just make, obviously I'm not staring at all 22s, but the one mistake, the actual terrible mistake, only one of the postseason that Stafford made, throwing one up for grabs that Tart of San Francisco just had the proverbial hands like feet, could have picked that one off and didn't. And that right there is when I thought, even though, it was a 10-point deficit, this could actually be the Rams' night when I saw something like that.
No, that was like the one throw that I saw carelessness with. And I've been tough on Stafford. Like I put it out there. I felt like I was like, man, I don't know, is it Detroit or was it Stafford? But throughout these playoffs, Rich, he's he's showed me what I needed to see, that he's capable of taking care of the football and not needing to be the hero, just being the quarterback who win the game and not caring how it looked. But that one throw, I mean, even the throw on the interception, the one that was a little behind Kupp, guy made a good play. Ball got popped, ball got tip drill, interception. I was actually okay with that play, but other than the throw up, he's been dynamic. Like I'm serious. I'm impressed. I did not know that this guy existed in Matthew Stafford. I'll be honest.
No.
I just didn't, Rich.
Wow. So he has officially won you over. Was what you're saying, Marshall Faulk?
He has shown me that he's capable of playing. All these quarterbacks, they can play in the regular season, but you get them in the postseason, and it's different. And it's the difference in Mahomes in the first half and Mahomes in the second half. Mahomes in the second half was like it was a regular season game, and like Cincinnati was just going to lay down. No, that he lost focus.
Yeah. Marshall Faulk here on the Rich Eisen Show. Let's switch gears then real quick to that. You said Mahomes treated the second half like, repeat that one more time. Let's get to Mahomes there and what you thought.
Yeah,
what happened with Kansas City yesterday?
The second half of that game, they're up 21-3, and Cincinnati didn't look good. The second half, he got a little lax. It was like they have another game to play if they lose this one. He wasn't playing like this was it.
How does something like that happen?
It does. I'm telling you, it does. I mean, the first half, he wasn't running around. He was running up in there when he had to scramble, getting the 2 to 3 or 4 or 5 yards, making plays. And then all of a sudden, he started doing the dancing around, like his offensive line, like last year when his offensive line was bad, what he had to do, and he didn't have to do that. I mean, case in point, those 3 points that there's no way you throw that ball to Tyreek Hill at the end of the first half. Mm-hmm. And Andy's always going to try to jump on the sword, but Mahomes is not like a first or second year guy. Like he's been there, done that. You cannot complete that ball knowing that your guy can't get out of bounds or stop the clock. You can't do that. He knew better, and he said, "I got greedy. You can't do that."
Well, and
the second half was more of that.
Yeah, it did seem that way. It did seem like the Bengals were kind of daring him to do the big play stuff, right? By putting eight in coverage, sometimes just rushing three guys, and daring him to to be the big play guy when they're basically showing him to just keep making that profit and matriculate the ball down the field, and he dropped the football a couple times. I mean, it was just wild to see that happen, Marshall.
I could not. It looked like one of those. Actually, it looked like early in the season we were questioning, was the Mahomes magic gone? And then they tightened it up. That focus came back, and you saw the Chiefs that we know of, and then it came back.
Do you think look, the mystique, there is something that comes with that word when when it's used. Certainly now when the AFC is now being reconfigured after 2 decades of Brady, right? And him being out of the conference for 2 years now and maybe out of the league. But that this is a reordering of things. And the fact that Mahomes has made it to 4 conference championship games is remarkable, but as a 50% hit rate on making the Super Bowl and only 1 W in the case, do you think that this mystique has taken an irreparable hit, Marshall?
No, I don't think so, Rich. I think it's just there's a learning process to what you learn about playing in this league and not taking it for granted. I mean, Dan Marino will tell you that. Jim Kelly will tell you that. And he will definitely evaluate his play in that second half. That the throw that he made at the end of the second quarter and then the second half, he will evaluate his play, and he will be better. He will be better.
Marshall Faulk here, Pro Football Hall of Famer here on the Rich Eisen Show. One of the storylines that I think you're going to be hearing a lot about over the next 2 weeks, certainly if Brady does make his announcement official, and the Brady nostalgia will be in full bloom, that Joe Burrow will have a long 2 weeks, or we'll hear for 2 weeks Joe Burrow is the next Brady, potentially. A quick ascendancy, possibility to win it all, taking on the Rams and in the Super Bowl, so on and so forth. Do you buy any of that, Marshall?
I think the comparison, it's not just the play and like regardless of what happened. You get sacked 9 times, you usually lose. Let's be honest. But you just don't win games when you get sacked 9 times. But he has like that it factor, and the people around him, they elevate for him for some reason. And I literally said, I'm like, Rich, he's not an average Joe. He's more in the Joe Montana, more in the Joe Namath mode. Like, he's not just an average Joe, and he has a little something about him. And you just, you like it. You like it. I mean, the guy has the Cincinnati Bengals in the Super Bowl, Rich.
That does actually say it all, right, Marshall?
Yes. And it's not like, you got to think, you go through Cleveland's supposed to be the front runner in the Super Bowl, Baltimore and Pittsburgh, to get there. You beat the Chiefs twice. Like, they didn't take an easy path. The Titans, no easy path. Think about what they've done.
It is incredible. I guess it's lucky for the Bengals that Burrow didn't tell them, draft a defensive lineman, I'm not coming. Right, Marshall? You should say?
Right. I mean, listen, to last
for instance,
year,
I just say just as a for instance,
I know. I literally dusted off like my old card of me, being photographed in a Bengals uniform and what could have been. And then I just okay, they're in the Super Bowl. Nice. I like it. They've arrived, Rich. I have to give them some. Listen, man, what they've built. And I heard somebody say something last night that was like relevant. when you look at their team, they're built around players who have played in big-time college games, and the stage wasn't too big. When you think about Burrow, Chase, Higgins, like these dudes played in big games, man. Big games on the big stage in college football, and the stage wasn't too big in the league.
Sort of like Michigan in the Big Ten for Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You know?
Same thing.
Similar.
I mean, but except y'all didn't let him play in the Big Ten.
Hold on a minute, Marshall. No. He had 5 times as many passing yards as Drew Henson his senior year, where he beat Alabama in the Orange Bowl to walk out the door, and somehow, some way, he fell to 199. Marshall.
Let's just say this: if Tom was at Michigan right now, he would have been in the portal just like Joe Burrow.
Don't go all Albert Breer on me, Marshall. Don't go all Breer.
Laughing at Michigan the way we're laughing at Ohio State.
Never go full Breer, Marshall. You know that.
That's good advice.
We would be doing. Let's be honest.
Please.
We would. Like, don't you know? Like Ohio State is like, hold on, wait. Who was better than Joe Burrow?
Dwayne Haskins.
What was that guy?
Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah.
But he threw 50. He threw 50 while Joe went 60. You know what I'm saying? So.
Hey, man, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Obviously, you got to have an eye for talent to miss Joe Burrow. Like, you got to have a really good eye for talent to miss Joe.
Is your first ever quarterback in the pros going to leave Michigan to go coach the Vikings, Marshall? What do you think?
I just can't see. Listen, Michigan has stuck by him through thick and thin. I can't see him leaving them high and dry right now. I just can't see that. Like, I feel like I know enough about Jim that he entertained, did what he needed to do, and I know some people feel like, oh, he's not paying attention. But I think when you find out what he turned down to remain at Michigan, it's going to say he's all in with Michigan.
Okay. That would be great for me. I'll buy that. And what do you think, Marshall Faulk, the Niners and their brass, Coach Lynch, are thinking about Jimmy Garoppolo this morning? What do you think?
They're not.
What do you mean?
They're not. They already know. Like just this was it for Jimmy. Like that's a wrap. I'm gonna be honest. Jimmy, you were standing next to me, and I was like, okay, here it is. Now Jimmy G is about to show up. Some people can handle the pressure, and some can't. And when it gets thick, whether it's the ball, the touchdown to Emmanuel Sanders that he missed in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, or some of the throws that game should have been out of hand. I never seen Jalen Ramsey drop a ball that hit him in the chest. I mean, he cannot handle the pressure right now.
He had Kittle.
He
had Kittle open, right? Obviously, he hit him for the touchdown, but he had Kittle open for a touchdown in the first quarter. I mean, that was right there.
No, it's Rich. It is what it is, man. You either can handle those moments or you can't. And I don't want to take anything away from the guy. I just don't. I don't feel like he's built to handle the moments.
Would you go and hire him if you were a GM somewhere else? And if let's just say you're Pittsburgh looking for the guy after Roethlisberger, let's just say you're anybody looking for you would take.
I'd bring him in. He'd be my backup. He'd be my backup. He would. Yeah.
So you would not hire him as a starting quarterback?
No.
In the NFL?
No. He looked real handsome holding a clipboard. Really good.
Wow.
Really good. I'm all for him. Rich. I love the guy.
He can't win 10 games in Pittsburgh next year.
You have to remember that division. There's good quarterbacks on somewhat. Cleveland is the jury's still out on Baker. I don't know if it's Baker or if it's the system. I can't figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in terms of that, Marshall, the fact that Odell is balling out right now, what would you counsel Browns fans to be thinking, seeing that, Marshall?
Well, I don't think that was Baker's fault. I think that was Stefanski's fault. This wasn't the first time. Stefanski was the guy with Diggs as well. This not the first time he's isolated that kind of receiver a guy who wants. But he's done this before.
What is this? What is that? Put more meat on the bones of what this is.
Well,
please.
you isolate a receiver out, a guy who demands the ball, who wants the attention, and whom they may have thought he was a distraction. Yeah. I mean, you feature, and listen. Here's what Sean McVay. It's a Cooper Kupp show, but he'll feature Odell on drives. They'll feature Odell.
First snap of the game last night was a quick throw to Odell. First snap.
There you go. Yeah. Yes. And some coaches are creative enough to do that, and some they just run a system. And maybe Stefanski he'll get his guy and Kirk Cousins, to come run his offense and show that he's actually worth what they paid him and why they hired him. But I don't listen. Odell's in the Super Bowl right now. Let's just say that.
I could see that. By the way, I am fluent in Marshall Faulk, Christopher, TJ. I am fluent in Marshall Faulk inflection. That was a passive aggressive shot at Kirk Cousins, right there.
I cannot imagine Kirk Cousins quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings next year.
So that's why you bring him in for Cleveland? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you bring him in for Cleveland.
Jimmy G or Kirk Cousins, Marshall?
I'm going Kirk Cousins. Kurt has a bigger body of bad work, so I'm going to go Kirk Cousins. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk to play us out. Thanks, Marshall. It was great seeing you last night.
All good, man. Always.
Take care.
Always.
Love you, brother. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.